Hello YouTube universe, I am the Car Bomb, and this is my car. Today I want to talk about something fun, something I think would be absolutely amazing to see, something that I think that is weird that they haven't done already. I want to see this. Damian Wayne meets Catwoman. Now, if people that don't know, Damian Wayne is the most current Robin that is in the DC universe, and he has like his very own movie series. Like every once in a while, like once every year, they bring out another movie with Damian Wayne as one of the key, if not the key character. Now, Damian Wayne is the son of Bruce Wayne, of course, also the son of Talia Al Ghul. It's always hard to say that guy's name, but so he's also the new Robin and the son of Batman, in extension to everything else. And so I think it would just be amazing for him to meet Catwoman. This would also be great because Catwoman has been kind of ignored in the movie series and actually in the DC universe in general when it comes to animation. Like, she hasn't really been seen all that much. I know she isn't one of the scariest characters, but she always made things interesting. Because on top of everything else, she is Batman's first love. That's almost always the case across all the lines of continuity. She is the first one where he's like makes him feel something other than anger and vengeance and just wanting to destroy all bad guys everywhere. That she is the first one that, even though she is a bad guy, she robs places. In some versions, she blows up crap. She is the first one that makes him, stop and not want to turn her in. And in several versions, he decides at one point or another not to turn her in because he likes her so much. And that would be fantastic, not only for the development of this movie series, but also to help the development of Damian Wayne himself. Because just imagine the fact that before her, Batman was even more Batman. Batman was just like all along, just like always hatred, always anger, always just filled with pain. And she's the first one to make him not feel pain. So before her, grumpy Batman would be even more grumpy Batman. And I think that's pretty hard for most people to understand, especially Damian, because Damian, he's kind of stern himself, but he even gets sick of Batman's just stoic personality all the freaking time. And odds are he was, I already said that. So I just think this would be absolutely amazing. Just imagine a Catwoman meeting Damian Wayne. Now, you would wonder, how the heck would this even happen? Well, one, we have to remove Batman out of the picture. Why? Because he would never let these two meet. Even if it came down to the world being destroyed and these two meeting, he would probably let the world be destroyed and not have these two meet. Because, she knows Batman probably better than most other people. It's just because she knows how to, more or less, with the lack of a better term, tease him. To the point where he's not just, I'm going to stop you. You are a villain. You will be stopped because you are a villain. He's more like, can you not do that, please? I don't want to turn you in because, you're kind of cute and I kind of like you and you're a pretty awesome person. Yeah. That's why, but there's several things that I think it would be beneficial for Damien's character. One, he gets to know a little bit more about Batman. Because, that's always a interesting thing for a child to learn more about their parent. If you know more about your parent, and most people think that you learn a little bit more about yourself because you came from your parents and all that stuff. Also, people keep on saying that Damien and Bruce are pretty similar in their personalities, so that would also add to that statement. If he knows more about his dad, he can understand what will make him not be such, as he is. Yeah, I lost my line of thought. But yeah, how else would it be beneficial for Damien to meet Catwoman? Again, you would just you would learn more about him. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Now, the other thing that would be awesome is that not many people know that Catwoman actually has a sidekick. What was her name again? Gotta look it up. Her name is Holly Robinson. She hasn't been much in the comic book universe, and she's never been in the animation universe. So it would be just great to have this character be added into the continuity of the DC cartoon universe. Because, one, she might be a romantic interest for Damien. Like I said, people keep on saying that the two of them are rather alike. So if Batman likes Catwoman, then Damien might like Holly. She doesn't seem to have her own name. She takes over the mantle as Catwoman for a short while, but ultimately gives it back. So, yeah. But yeah, so they would even have to probably give her a new name. It also gives the possibility of her being added to the Teen Titans, which is interesting. Probably wouldn't happen, but it would be interesting for them to at least have a movie after this one where they try to, but she probably is a little bit too much like Catwoman for that to really work. Now you probably wonder, well, what would be the setup? Well, Batman can't be in the picture because, like I said, he would probably just take over the situation and make it so him and Catwoman don't really interact. So I would think that it would be beneficial for not only him, but also Nightwing to be off-world with the Justice League for this entire movie, just because they would just get in the way. They would just get in the way. Also, which means that Gotham would be unprotected. And since Gotham is unprotected, of course, Little Robin, would go try and protect it. Now, Now, Catwoman is trying to find Batman. Why is she trying to find Batman? Because Holly got kidnapped by another group. Possibly, there's several different groups that might be responsible. There is a group in the old Batman series, which is like an entire cat cult type of thing or organization that they fight, and that one would be interesting, but maybe not. There's also another group of people that would be a good candidate, which would have Cybercat in it. Also, not bad, but I don't know. It just might not work. Either way, she gets kidnapped. And Catwoman comes to find help. She's trying to find Batman because she knows that Batman would help her. Because, again, okay, he kind of likes her, you know, kind of. He plays it cool. But in the end, she can only find Robin because she, you know, causes disturbance, sets off alarms, it draws out the Batmobile, and is kind of disappointed in finding that it is it's just Damian. And it's just like, you're not Batman, we're Batman. I'm looking for Batman. And it's like, and of course Damian takes a second, like, wait, you're Catwoman. What are you doing here? And it's like, I'm looking for Batman. Why are you looking for Batman? And then they go through the story. Oh, my sidekick got kidnapped, and I need somebody to try to help her and to try to save her. And then he would be like, well, I'm good. Let's go. And she'd be like, you kind of remind me of Bruce. Or she would figure out one way or another that, you know, Damian is Bruce's son, or at least Batman's son, because I don't think they would have her know who Batman really is in this series. So, yeah. So little Damian and her would go off and onto a venture to try to save her daughter because Damian is stubborn and also curious. And when you're stubborn and curious, you're pretty much willing to do anything, because he thinks because Damian always tries to prove himself, even though nobody thinks he needs to. Like, nobody. But still, he always tries to prove himself. And also, he's like, this chick kind of knows my dad. Like, actually knows my dad. So he'll be curious, like a kitty. Had to. And so he would go with her partially to try to figure out more about his dad, or what she knows about her dad, or what her view on his dad is, because, you know, that's what kids do. A kid like that is going to want to know everything about their dad, especially a dad that's so guarded about every piece of information in his entire life. Seriously, could you imagine the locking mechanism on the Bruce Wayne phone? You probably have to put in a 12,000 digit cipher just to open it. Yeesh. But yeah, so that's my setup. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity to say something very important. I take no rights or copyrights or any kind of privilege of information on this storyline at all. I would rather get seen than anything else, so I drop it all. I don't want any money for it. I don't want any concept or anything. It'd be nice if I was put in somewhere in the credits, like under the special thanks to section, because apparently if you post an idea on the internet, it is yours and it is copyrighted and all this other kind of crap, and I relinquish all rights to any part of this idea, because I would rather see it made than to get any credit for it, because that's the type of person I am. And apparently if you post something on the internet, you own that idea, and so movie makers can't actually use it, and I don't want that. So this should do it, right? This should do it. All no wanting anything. Yeah, I think that's a dumb thing. I mean, ideas are good, and yeah, you should give credit where credit is due. But yeah, that's just the thing. But yeah, so long story short, Damian and her go fight. They save, Holly, and Holly even starts to fight at the end. And Robin is probably a little impressed because, like I said earlier, him and Batman are kind of alike. and their personalities is, so they're probably also kind of alike in what they like. Oh, that's the other part I forgot. The other reason why Damien and her would be a good matchup is that he needs a more positive motherly figure, because she is a more positive mother figure than, you know, his mom, who is, you know, psycho. You know, Catwoman isn't the best mom. I wouldn't give her Mother of the Year award ever. But since this is going to be a situation where she's trying to save a child or a teenager, because, like I said, it would probably be around his age, so if for no other reason, so he might have a romantic interest later on, because that would just be funny, you know. Like, could you imagine that? Batman and Catwoman and Damien and Holly all in the same room, kind of like thinking, well, we like each other, they like each other, so this is really awkward. I think that would be, they don't really do awkward well, or haven't really done awkward in these cartoons, but I think that would be hilarious. Just like, oh, could you imagine a prom night with that? Oh, that would be hilarious! Especially if Catwoman stays in character as Catwoman, is just freaking messing with Batman the entire time. That would be hilarious. Anyways, but yeah, it would be interesting because she would be a more maternal character than his own mom would be, which would add a interesting dynamic, you know, because it just would. I mean, but yeah, they would go, they would save her. She would probably end up starting to fight in the fight. He would probably be impressed because, you know, like I said, Batman and him have the same personality, so they probably also have the same, you know, likes in a female. Not to mention that, you know, it would be like a strong female, the girl would be another strong female character, so it would be kind of like his mom. And there's like this weird psychology where people like being with people that are like their parents, but nah, that's not really me. That's weird. So I guess I think it's because I was raised by cartoons, and all my characters that I like are psychically strong females or whatever. Anyways, but yeah, I just think this would be a fantastic movie. I think that it is a missed opportunity that DC hasn't done this movie already. And yeah, that's about it. This is just a thing. This just was a fun little what if scenario, you know, episode. But yeah, get this to happen. If we get 1 billion likes, this will happen. Of course, first I need some views first. Views would be nice too. Views would be very nice. It's never going to happen, is it? But it might happen someday. I can just imagine 20 years from now, there's like suddenly 1 billion likes. It's just like, what the heck is going on? Completely forgot that I even had this entire thing set up. That'd be funny. But yeah, this needs to happen. I want to see Catwoman not kind of like being a new mom to Robin, telling Robin that his dad was even more of a dick than he is now, and him liking her sidekick. That's all I really want to see, because I think that'd be hilarious. Of course, when they get back after saving the day and saving the girl and all this other type of stuff, and they get back to, you know, Gotham, of course Batman's going to be like there, because, you know, his mission in a galaxy far, far away will be over, and he's just going to go, well, crap, what have you two been doing this entire time? And just for that last scene of Batman going, okay, well, there's my son and my kind of ex-girlfriend. Not really, because we never actually dated, although that one time we did kind of take down a mob organization together. Is that considered to be a date? I'm not sure. Yeah, what have they been talking about? And I guess that's about it for today. Thank you for watching, and get out of my car.